Alright, it is 9:35 a.m. As you can see, there were some humongous sellers at 52, and this thing is trying to panic at least a little. I was in the setup because the previous day high on the first green day was 49, as you can see right around there when I put my mouse over the candle. And then today kind of opened, it was trading back and forth. There was a point when I was interested in buying it right at 9:30 at the market open, but then I canceled it because it looks like it no longer had the same momentum to break 49 and get to the 50s. And I was right because it did downtrend a few more minutes and it was just consolidating ultimately is what it ended up doing. And then at 9:33 I did get in at 49, which was right here, right before it looked like it was going to break past 49 and get into the 50s, and we got as high as 51. But I didn't like the amount of sellers at 51, and now it looks like they're not there anymore. Actually, no, I think it was 52. I forgot if it was 51 or 52. It was definitely 52. This 5 million share seller right here at the ask just doesn't look nice. And then there was a 3 million share seller, but I want to see if it can still do it without me, which is fine. I did get out rather quickly. This ended up looking like a scalp, but my intention was that it was going to break the beautiful round number of 50. Second green day breaks the previous day high from the first day, and it can continue to run much higher and be super profitable. But again, when there were those large sellers showing up at the ask at 52, I just didn't think it was going to have the momentum to do it. And I did sell at that 50 level at 9:34 the next minute, which was right here. I sold at 50. I'll make an update as to if, if whether is going to break 52 eventually or not, but wow, it looks like it's trying to. And it also sounds like I'm very sleep deprived, which is also true. That was a big buy right here at 51. There isn't anything else that I'm interested in, although I did notice that GESI finally did break $5, and it was yesterday around midday, and it's in the 530s. A little sketchy. I wasn't going to consider buying it anymore, but I was interested in this potentially doing this where it was going to finally break the level. Alright, well, I'll make an update later as to what this one does. It looks like we did get 52. Wow. I don't mind missing out on this, even though, it is getting the 53. It does have a little bit of a spread, and I didn't like the sellers. This is actually even worse at 53, but yeah. The setup was there. I just didn't like the amount of sellers at the ask. It is 2:08 p.m. and it's been a while since I've been looking at the markets, and I'll be honest, I do feel a little salty that I wasn't able to really be a part of any of this with TXTM. If I had to guess, maybe I might have been interested the first time it broke 55 right here, and then it kind of came back, and then it started trading back and forth, and this looks like a very slow and gradual uptrender, and then it just eventually made that confirmation, I guess, at this point right here, especially when it had a jump to 59. I don't know if I would have had the patience for this, but I would have liked to have at least tried trading it and, trying to get better. Holding setups like this that take a longer period to form. And I think the easiest way perhaps to have traded this one, or at least on when to cut it, would have been based off of the trend line. As you can see, it kind of had a dip and it held it with a little wick below it. And now it's officially getting below it. And maybe that could have helped me, if I were to have went long this setup, be able to benefit from it, because it made a move from the 55s or the 56 level as high as the 70s, and that's pretty cool. And I would have no interest in trading this anymore. But if this thing can have another green day tomorrow, I will be watching it. If it can break the day high of this day, the next day, and if it can have a third green day, or if it looks super clean, this can be a morning panic bounce setup. I did have another trade with GTOR, and that was about just under 20 minutes after I traded TXTM, and this was a morning panic bounce play, although a little bit of a slow one because as you can see, it started to hit a bottom in the 950s. It wasn't like, at 935 or anything like that right off of the market open. But this one did work out. This one was pretty sketchy the way it traded, but I was interested in it at 955. I bought 3,500 shares at 535. Right here, I bought 3,500 shares right around here. I broke the trend line. The price action was looking good. And I just didn't like how the volume isn't really there and it will trade with a bit of a spread. As you can see, it kind of has one right now. And it was just gradually uptrending. And while it was nice, it kind of gave me like a bad vibe where it's just uptrending and it's not really being that strong. And then the moment some heavy selling pressure can apply on this move towards the upside, it might downtrend a lot. And I did sell 1,500 of my shares at 539, and that was after I held it for 3 minutes. That was right here at 958. I was feeling a bit uneasy with it, and at the time it wasn't really breaking past 54, which was the ideal level. So I did try to sell a portion of my trade to lower my risk, and I actually sold that piece for more than what I bought it for. And then I ultimately finished and I sold the rest at 542, the 2,000 shares at 10 o'clock. So 10 o'clock was right here, and I sold at 542. So right around right here at 10 o'clock, I guess right at the wick, the very bottom of the candle. And then it did eventually start to uptrend right after I got out, which kind of sucks, but that's fine. It was just feeling a bit iffy the way it was just gradually uptrending like that. And maybe I could have used a trend line to sell the second piece for a profit. If it can let me do a trend line. And it would have eventually broken it at that point right around there. I don't think I can really adjust this thing any better, but yeah, that was a setup. I'll continue to look at TXTM, and this one was also interesting. I didn't pull the trigger on this one because it didn't have much volume, but this actually broke 125, and I was watching it. It did get to the 14s, although the volume isn't really there, kind of sporadic, but yeah, I missed out on this one with BMIX, and also missed out on trying this setup right here with TXTM. And yeah, I'll make an update later. I'm still happy with the two trades that I had, but I would have liked it if I at least tried one out of these two other setups that I wasn't a part of. Okay, it is 5:49 p.m. and I am here to call it off. Overall, I'm up on the day, $4.50, and that was trading GTOR and TXTM, and I did pretty well on both of the setups, but I think what I can try to do, is actually TXTM, what I could try to do to be more profitable with morning spikes, and of course each one is different, is that I think what I can do is maybe risk VWAP. And if I were to risk VWAP, I think that can help me be better trading morning spikes. I do a lot better, or at least I have more experience trading dip buys or morning panic bounce plays. But when it broke this 49 level right here and I entered it, it did trade back and forth, and I got out because I didn't like the sellers that were there at 52, I believe. And that was the ceiling there for a while. This might have been 51, maybe 52 was the level. I'm not extremely sure, but it did have a drop, and it did look like there were too many sellers at the ask when it first started the uptrend, and then it brought it all the way back. But as you can see, it never got below VWAP, so maybe I can try to risk VWAP if I can see that it's something that it holds more often than not on morning spikes. And then, that would allow me to maybe potentially sell half of my position when it was at 50, and then I can hold through this as long as it doesn't break VWAP, and then that would allow me to maybe sell the other half in two additional pieces towards the uptrend, and then I could be more profitable with a trade like that. So I think that's what I'm going to try with TXTM. GTOR, I think it was fine for what it was. I did sell right before it started the uptrend some more, but I don't regret it too much because, I mean, I really feel like any big red volume candle could have just wiped it out and made it do something really ugly. I do regret not being a part of BMIX and TXTM and GESI as well, although the break past 5 was yesterday. It wasn't necessarily today, but it did uptrend nicely. That's it for today. I did well with the trades I had, and there's something I can do to be more profitable there, I think. And God willing, I can keep applying that. And yeah, overall, pretty good. I think some great lessons were learned.